Hey friends, 2021 was my most well-documented year ever. It's not that I took more photos or took more videos or really invested much time at all into documenting the year. So how did I do it? In 2021, I did life homework. Now this video is a part 2 of a video that I made last year about this topic. Essentially, life homework is a daily habit where you write down 1 or 2 memories from the day, and that's it. The end result is this little journal. I only actually used about half of the journal, but those pages are chock full of memories from this past year. It's filled with small moments that I want to remember, big successes, mental breakdowns, tests, coffee breaks, you name it. I probably wrote it down in here at some point. For example, if I asked you what you did on March 29th last year, would you be able to tell me? I don't remember off the top of my head either, but the difference is that I could look it up and I could find what I did on March 29th. So, okay, March 29th, I went to Wegmans and had an a cappella rehearsal. Nothing crazy, but that's what I did on March 29th. Seems kind of pointless. Like, why would I ever need to know that the most important thing I could think of to write down on that day was that I went to Wegmans and had an a cappella rehearsal? Seems kind of pointless, but there's more to it. To explore why this matters, I talked about this concept in last year's video. So I was recently watching a Vsauce video about time, all the complexities of time. It's like there's so much to talk about with it, and I forget all the stuff that was covered in that video, except for this one principle where the less things happen in an amount of time, the longer it feels while you're living it, but the shorter it feels when you're looking back at it. So emptiness ends up being like pretty compressed and small in your memory. On the other hand, things that are like full of memories, action-packed, tend to go by really fast when you're experiencing them, but when you look back at them, they seem to take up a larger proportion of your memory because so many things happened and you like actually want to remember the things that happened. And that's precisely what happened. When I think back to other years, I think in terms of like broad themes of like what my mindset was at different points and like major events that shaped who I am, like the really big stuff, that extreme highs, the really low lows, but there's not a whole lot of in between. So in my mind, that is something I perceive as a shorter amount of time because there's just not as much in it. Whereas this year, with just one memory from every day, it feels a lot bigger. In short, 2021 feels like it was full to the brim because I've written down 365 memories from this past year. That said, 365 memories, looking back at it, feels really small because every time I look at one of these bullet points in here, it triggers other memories that I have from that day. Like, I didn't just go to Wegmans. I went to Wegmans and I bought this, that, and the other. I went to a cappella rehearsal and we did these songs. I can remember more just based on these little cues. And even as those other memories sort of start to fade away, I know that I'll have these anchor points. So it sounds simple, clean, and elegant. I will say it wasn't the easiest thing to do. Sometimes I would forget for like a week and then I'd have to backtrack and go fill in the previous days that I had missed. So like it wasn't perfect. But I did end up getting a memory for every day and like being 100% sure that that's what happened on that day. So there's something for every day, but they always ended up being more vivid and more meaningful when I actually did it on the day of. Now for the fun part, let's check out a few of the memories that I wrote down. On January 1st, Catherine and I tried to watch Ratatouille, but it didn't really work. We were having like internet trouble or something, or like something was going wrong with the live stream because so many people were watching it. Loved the concept, the execution, and like technological side of it didn't end up working out for me and Catherine, but still fun, good memory. January 9th, Molly and Kate kidnapped me and we drove around and listened to music. That was fun. Oh, January 20th, I decluttered a frick ton. That was kind of the beginning of like my minimalism sort of stuff. Felt so good after that. Got rid of so much. And like donated like a crap ton of clothes that I never wore. February 9th was a random day of nothingness with Kellen. That was like the beginning of the semester. Neither of us had any homework yet. And so we were just kind of like sitting around doing nothing. And we both realized at the same time, we're like, we have nothing to do. And that was really like weird and disconcerting. On February 13th, Manly and John came to visit me in Syracuse, and that was cool. We did like a little hike and stuff. It was great to see them. On February 22nd, I burned my hand. That freaking sucked. God, I can still like almost feel where it was. I was trying to pour bacon grease into a can, and it just like ran down my fingers. On March 20th, I went for a run, the first one in a while. I love running, and I always like kind of get back into it and then get out of it and then March 31st, I tried sleeping on the floor. April 2nd, I watched Godzilla vs. Kong with Kellen. April 14th was a slight stress breakdown. Those are important to record too, I think. On May 15th, I drove some of my friends to their sorority date night. That was kind of funny. It was because like Ubers were ridiculously expensive, and they were like, oh yeah, we'll pay for gas if you drive us. And I was like hesitant at first, but then I was like, I'm gonna make this the most fun car ride I possibly can. So we were like blasting One Direction. On May 29th, I hiked Mount Mansfield with my friend Ryan. June 6th, I hiked Mount Bierstadt with Jack out in Colorado. That was cool. That was my first 14,000 footer ever. On June 22nd, we listened to a loon record where it like talks about the different loon calls. Ari always played that in the Art Shack. On July 13th, me, Kate, and Kat went to Walmart and got Takis. And I think Kat described them as tasting like what she'd imagine spicy feet might taste like, which is nasty. July 24th, I was an X Games general as the Mucky Ducky. August 15th, I left camp. That was sad. August 31st was a good day. That was back at school. I got free cold brew. Salt City was giving out free cold brew. That was awesome. And also our carpet got replaced because when we got to campus, our carpet was just like slightly damp, the whole place, and it was like moldy and stuff. It was nasty. And we had been like making calls trying to get people to come clean it and stuff, and nothing was working. So getting that replaced was like, yes. September 18th was a rafting trip that I helped lead, where my group's raft popped. The rafts are made of sections, and like one of the sections popped, and so we kind of had like a flat tire situation, and we never flipped, we never lost anyone. So that was cool. On September 22nd, it was Hobbit Day, and that was fun because I ate all the Hobbit meals. So it's like breakfast, second breakfast, 11sies, luncheon, afternoon tea, dinner, supper, I think is all of them. On October 3rd, my girlfriend and I started dating. On October 10th, I got a lot of work done for once. On October 22nd, I drove to Ohio to visit my girlfriend. It was like an 8-hour drive, but very much worth it. Really fun weekend. On November 12th, my girlfriend and I went to a farm in Pennsylvania where they were renting out a cabin for the weekend, and we're like, that sounds awesome. So we went and spent a weekend on a farm. We got to ride a horse. On November 17th, I got Chipotle with Kellen. That was great to catch up. We hadn't talked in a while, just because we've been like so busy with stuff. On December 28th, I flew out to go see my girlfriend for New Year's, and all of our camp friends were there, which was awesome. Fantastic to see all of them. We spent like a week there. Life homework was so fun. I'm continuing to do it this year because I feel like it was so worth it. It makes me feel like this year was actually like substantial and a lot happened. And it just reminds me of all of the memories that I have from it. I encourage you to try it out. Let me know if you do, because I would love to like bond with people over this. That'd be so cool. We'd all compare what we did on different days. And I bet you'd enjoy recording some memories. Let me know if you do. And with that, thank you for watching.